The discovery of the Groninger gas field in 1959 was exciting news for the Netherlands, but also marked the start of a gold rush period in the country's oil and gas industry. Within a few years, several major players were actively exploring for oil and gas. The potential that the country offered had not gone unnoticed by the state-owned oil and gas companies in France. In the early 1960s, France's Régie Autonome des Pétroles and the Bureau de Recherche des Pétroles were actively exploring for gas onshore and offshore of the Netherlands using aeromagnetic survey, seismic survey and exploration drilling. This advanced work resulted in the formation of Petroland NV in Rotterdam on the 31st of March 1964. After a number of changes of ownership, Petroland eventually became Total E&P Nederland, and is now a wholly owned subsidiary of the Total Group, one of the world's largest integrated energy businesses. It has grown substantially since the early days. This growth is the result of a combination of talent and innovation. Total's history in the Netherlands is marked by many important milestones and has made Total E&P Nederland what it is today, one of the leading players in the Dutch oil and gas industry. Milestones. Its establishment was swiftly followed by a pioneer period. In the search for gas fields, Petroland carried out significant seismic research, as well as 17 drillings in the 4-year period from 1964 to 1968. In 1970, the Zoutwol field was discovered offshore and the company applied for a gas production permit. Zoutwol would later turn out to be a major asset to Total. In 1971, onshore gas production started in the Leeuwarden permit area, with the gas being treated at the Grijp gas treatment centre. 1973 saw the first offshore gas discoveries in the Dutch continental shelf area. Only 4 years later, the first gas was produced offshore from the L7 block. The gas was first dried before being transported to the shore through a pipeline. Final treatment to consumer specifications took place at an onshore treatment centre in Oudthausen. The success of the L7 block was followed by production from the L4 field, where the volume of gas produced exceeded expectations. In 1984, 14 years after the initial permit application, the company was finally awarded a permit for the Zoutwol development. But it took another 4 years after that before production could start. In the meantime, there were many other developments, some of which were very significant. For example, the first unmanned platform or satellite prostrated production in 1985. The L7A and L4B platforms were the first unmanned platforms in the entire Dutch continental shelf area, but they wouldn't be the last. Today, Total E&P Nederland has 17 unmanned satellite platforms. With such platforms, fewer personnel are exposed and the impact on the environment is minimized. The Zoutwol project is truly one of the most important achievements in the history of Total E&P Nederland, and also a global showcase for the group when it comes to operating in environmentally sensitive areas. But Zoutwol was special in other ways too. In 1988, the world's first 3 horizontal gas wells were drilled from the platform, representing a major innovation for the oil and gas industry around the world. It enabled to produce the gas reservoir without drilling additional wells, thus minimizing the impact on the environment. Another highlight in the late 80s was the visit and official opening of the gas treatment centre in Harlingen by Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands. In 1989, a change in the shareholding structure saw the name change to Elf Petroland. The early 90s were busy for the company, seeing the inauguration of the K6 and K5 treatment centres and a total of 10 satellite platforms. Also, access to the gas in the F15 field, situated outside the distinctive core pistol-shaped area, was secured when the Nogat gas pipeline was commissioned in a strategic partnership with oil company NAM. When it was developed, the F15 field was a breakthrough for the group in developing high-pressure gas reservoirs with wells and topsides designed to safely handle 700 bars, thus enabling access to new gas resources. In 1997, Total became one of the first companies in the Netherlands to operate a subsea production well, K4D. Subsea installations make it feasible to unlock small fields that would otherwise remain untapped and have a smaller environmental footprint. In 2001, Elf Petroland NV merged with Total E&P Nederland BV to become Total E&P Nederland BV, with its headquarters in The Hague. The name was changed in 2003 to the name it still carries today. Total E&P Nederland became an offshore-only production company in 2004, when it sold its onshore production licenses to Vermilion. More developments and innovations followed. In 2005, we managed to drill the longest extended reach well in the Netherlands, with the drilling of the K5EC5, and in 2006 production started from our second subsea well, L4G. Other milestones in the company's history include the merger of the Den Helder office with the office in The Hague. Total succeeded in relocalizing its entire control room from Den Helder to The Hague, which resulted in closer cooperation between operations and support function and better synergies. After a period of long and intensive negotiations with the company's Works Council, Total E&P Nederland made sure that fair arrangements were in place to help the affected workers and their families with the transition. In 2008, Total E&P Nederland acquired Gol Petroleum Netherlands BV, which increased Total's share in some of its operated and non-operated licenses. 2008 was also notable for the startup of the K5F subsea wells, using the world's first all-electrical subsea wellheads. All-electric operation means increased reliability and enhanced environmental performance, since the risk of hydraulic leakage is completely eliminated. In 2010, the group made its first offshore horizontal multi-fracturation operation in the well K6 GT6, increasing by 50% the well initial flow rate. In 2012, the company prepared to map out its future with an extensive $60 million 3D seismic acquisition campaign, covering all of Total E&P Nederland's acreage in the North Sea. During a 4-month period, 2 seismic vessels gathered data which was used to produce an improved 3D picture of the subsurface. More than 50,000 ships per annum shuttle north of the Netherlands, and these busy shipping lanes had to be crossed more than 250 times by the seismic vessels with their more than 5-kilometer-long multi-seismic lines, 1,250 meters apart. In addition, seismic vessels had to move in extensive fishing areas and several places with shallow water, making this operation one of the most challenging seismic operations in the world. Processing, analyzing, and interpretation of the data are a time-consuming activity and will take together almost 2 years and will shape the future of the affiliate. Total E&P Nederland's latest innovation is the K4Z project, started up in August 2013. The K4Z field was discovered in 1974. At the time, the available technologies costs were much too high to enable the development of these limited resources. So Total waited for a more favorable economic environment, regularly reconsidering the development possibilities. And when the Dutch government instated its marginal field policy in 2010, Total was able to grasp the opportunity. Building on its previous experience as a leader in subsea development in the Netherlands and worldwide, Total developed together with its subcontractors the next generation of shallow water production systems. This rendered the development of the field economically viable, together with a fast-track execution and other cost-saving innovations, such as the burial of umbilical and sea line in a single trench. Development of the reserves required 2 subsea wells to be drilled and a new subsea completion to be installed at the K4Z location, 140 kilometers from shore and 17 kilometers west of the K5 central complex operated by Total. 2013 marked the startup of the K4Z subsea production installation. Total E&P Nederland, driven by talent and innovation.